In France, a simple pate is a national dish that can be found in every supermarket, charcuterie. It's usually referred to the country pate, that is a pork liver pate, very straightforward and simple. This is the way I made mine. Start with a pound of pork liver. Cut it in 2 pieces. Crush a couple of cloves of garlic. Add it to it, along with a bit of ground dry thyme, plenty of freshly ground black pepper, and a couple of teaspoons of tender, quick curing salt. The curing salt will keep it beautifully pink. Put all of that into the bowl of a food processor and process, adding a little bit of white wine so that the whole mixture is nice, soupy, and liquid. Pour that soupy mixture right over 1.5 pounds of ground pork. Mix everything together carefully. It takes a bit of work there. And finally, put your pate mixture into a terrine. This is a cast iron terrine about 10-inch long and about 5-inch deep. And you decorate the top of your pate or terrine with bay leaf and a sprig of thyme. Cover it and place it in a baking dish or a pan so that you can fill enough water from the tap about 3/4 of the way up the side of the terrine. Now bake it in a 325-degree oven for about 2.5 hours. Cool for a while at room temperature, then refrigerate it overnight. When you're ready to serve, slide a knife all around the edge, invert the terrine onto the cutting board, shake it a little bit, and the pate will fall on the table. Cut the pate into slices about 3/4 of an inch thick, arrange it on a platter, and serve with the traditional garnishes of cornichons and olives. You know, a pate can be made, should be made like a week ahead. It's really lovely with a glass of sturdy red wine, crunchy bread, mustard, pickle. It's all about offal today. Easy and elegant. This is essential Pépin. You know, for years, offal has been discarded, but now, especially with young chefs, it's very, very popular. I mean, pig's feet, tongue, you have edge cheese and all of that stuff that we used not to do now, you have that in most of the restaurants. And today we're going to do a roast sausage with potato, a braised sweetbread in Mirepoix, and a braised tongue with lentil. So I'll start with the sausage. I have a pound of meat here. This is ground pork. And it's about, I would say 18–20% fat, like you would be for hamburger. So a little bit of garlic in there. That's it. Then I'm putting salt in it, but the type of salt that I do, you can put regular salt actually, but I'm putting a curing salt here. And that curing salt will give it a beautiful color, you know, to the sausage, which is the thing that I want. And you use that for pate as well. I use it, you know, anything that you cure. When you see from a hot dog to a, you know, pastrami, for example, you would have that curing process, which is done usually with a curing salt. This is 99% salt and 1% divided into potassium nitrate and sodium nitrate. So in addition to that, I'm putting about 1/4 cup of pistachio in there and mushroom. Here I have what we call a black chanterelle. I pick them a fair amount of those during the summer. Those are dry out. And of course, those dry mushrooms, you put them with water. They reconstitute, and you can see here they get soft, nice in like 10–15 minutes. What I did, I take those, put them in a saucepan, pour out the juice on top of it without putting the bottom. Sometimes there is a bit of sand, and cook it down until the liquid basically disappears so that concentrate the taste. And that's what I have here to add for taste as well as color to my pan. I mean, you know, if you want to be really fancy, sometimes we put truffle in there, you know. the truffle already, which is a subterranean mushroom, is of course very expensive. So here we have in there. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons maybe of white wine in there. That's it. And ground pepper, like a teaspoon of ground pepper. Now, when you do those sausage, we do that for Christmas. Sometimes I do sausage like that in a brioche dough, which is very fancy to serve. You have to do them a few days ahead to cure them, like a pate. But it's really not complicated, and frankly, when you go buy this, it does cost a small fortune to buy them when in fact, to do it yourself, it's relatively inexpensive. Without the truffle, that is. Okay, and I'm going to put that directly on a piece of plastic wrap, like this. Put this around. You have to really mold it. That's it. And again. Put the end of it. And then I'm going to cure it. Usually I put a piece of aluminum foil on top. Here, tight. That's it. And that's basically what I have here. See, this one I did it a bit shorter, longer, doesn't matter. And this has been cured about 2 days, 3 days, but it can be cured up to a week. It's fine. So now we're going to saute it. I'm doing it in the style of home cooking in Lyon, what my mother used to do. A little bit of olive oil in there. Yep, to start. A little piece of butter. And that's it. The color has changed a little bit. You will see that it's slightly gray on the outside, but it will in fact turn beautifully pink as it cooks. And this, we're going to start browning this in there. To this, I will add a large onion, like in 4 pieces, so that it will separate like this, and tiny potato, small Yukon Gold here that I'm going to put around. And I would say that that sausage should cook a good 30 to 40 minutes with this around. Sometimes I put a branch of thyme or bay leaf. This is a dish really from my youth. All right. Start browning around. I'm going to cover it. And after it browns for a little while, you're going to reduce the heat and, as I say, cook it for 30, 40 minutes. I want to show you one here that I poached in water with the aluminum foil, just as is. Often I do that like in a new technique now called sous vide, which is actually putting the food in a vacuum pack situation, but this is not even the case here, but you cook it at very low temperature, about 150 degrees. So it's pretty low for like an hour and a half, a long time. And I would have that sausage now cooked. Usually that sausage, I will serve it on a salad of potato. You know, the potato like this, but serve in a salad. You can see the color, the way it came out beautifully pink now. Yeah, beautiful color now with the black mushroom, which look like truffle, and pistachio. Great dish from my youth. Now, this is starting to brown. As you can see, as I said, it will take another 30 minutes. That's it. You can see that this is well cooked. My potatoes are roasted. Time to serve it. Whoop. Here is the big sausage, which I cut into pieces again. As you can see, the same color than the other one, except it's roasted, and it's quite lean actually. Potato here with the juice. I have a lot of natural juice here. Put the sausage right in the center here. Maybe a little bit of chives on top of it for color and taste on the potato. And this is it. The roasted pork sausage with potato. And now I'm going to make braised sweetbread in Mirepoix. The sweetbread is of course a gland. There is a couple of different types of sweetbread. The long one like this, as you can see, is actually the thymus gland. Some people consider it the best around the calf. The calf has to be small. And what we call la noix, or the center, is actually the pancreas. I think this one is better, in my opinion. So what you do there, you drop them in cold water, bring them to a boil it very gently for 15 minutes or two to really blanch them. And after we press them, I have a weight here, which is just an empty weight, just to be able to press them as I did here. And they get tighter in texture, you know, like this. And that's usually the way you want to use them. From that point on, you can braise them, you can slice them, you know, saute them. You can do them in a sauce as we're going to do today. So today we're doing that in a mirepoix, and a mirepoix is actually vegetable cut into a tiny dice. We have those names, you know, in classic cuisine. You talk about a mirepoix, or you talk about a brunoise, and so forth, and it refers to a certain type of vegetable. Actually, this is more of a brunoise cut very small like this. The carrot, of course, is peeled here. All of this, you know, usually when you're in a kitchen, in a professional kitchen, you have someone preparing that for you, or you do it yourself, but you do it before the guests come and sit down. This is what we call la mise en place, you know? That is the prep work. I'm gonna put a little bit of a leek as well in there. A little piece of butter. There. Maybe a dash of oil. That prevents my butter from burning, really. And the vegetable in there. So, the sweetbread. I will separate the sweetbread. There is some membrane, you know, coming out. Some are cleaner than others, but certainly you want to try to separate those into the normal, you know, shape of the sweetbread, and remove the sinew or any pieces of fat that you have in between. Sweetbread was something which used to be extremely inexpensive, and now it's as expensive as beef tenderloin, you know, sometimes more. So here we're going to stew those in the middle of our vegetable here. And this is plenty. That's it. Maybe I put a little bit of salt, pepper, and within a minute or so, a couple of minutes, when they start stewing, I'll put some white wine, a bit of stock in it, and maybe a bit of tomato. This is a serrated blade type of vegetable peeler And it's absolutely wonderful. I wasn't really aware of it. And now I use it all the time. We'll cut that in half. I'm going to use a couple of cloves of garlic. This I can put that in there to reserve it for stock. Press the seed out. Again, that cut into tiny dice. Then garlic, at least a clove. Really crush it good to release the essential oil. And that's it. Now let's see what it looks like. Doing beautiful here. So, here is the garlic in there. You can put the garlic with the other vegetable at the beginning too, it's fine. This. And in this I'm going to put some white wine. Like a third of a cup or so. And some brown stock. I have a reduced brown stock here. I'm going to put inside. And this is it. Now it's got to boil gently. About 10, 12, 15 minutes. Remember that those sweetbreads have been cooking like 20 minutes already in the first blanching. That's good. Okay. I'm going to serve that on little barquettes like this. And those are barquettes that I made with a cream cheese dough. It's basically cream cheese and flour, which you roll and push in the barquette. It doesn't really have much elasticity and cook about 10, 12 minutes in the oven. So sometimes we garnish that with mushroom. And sometimes, to make it even fancier, we turn the mushroom. Now, turning a mushroom, there is a different way of doing it. Use a vegetable peeler like that. I use my thumb as a pivot to turn around. And the process from the center of the mushroom, you get the pivoting like this. This, of course, was required as an apprentice, to learn how to flute mushroom, we call. It has that type of spiral, look that we have here. Usually we would cut it this way. Then put a little bit of lemon juice in it. And I could add it to finish it in the cooking here. Okay. I think we are ready now. Looking at the sweetbread, I have enough for like 6, 8 people here. You can see the liquid is a little too liquid, so I'm going to give a bit of viscosity to that with a dash of, I can use arrowroot or potato starch is my favorite, which you have to dilute with a little bit of liquid, in that case wine. Of course, when you use wine in the kitchen, you do taste it. You never know what can happen. And as soon as this touches the liquid, it thickens on contact, so you know exactly where you stand. See, I have about a teaspoon here. And you can see that the viscosity now is just about right. That would be about fine here. Maybe a little dash of chives on top of it. And here we are, a very classic dish, the braised sweetbread in Mirepoix. More offals, variety meat. Tongue for me is one of the best. And I'm going to do a braised tongue with lentil, the little green lentil called Lentils du Puy from France. And you can buy, I have a tongue here which is cured, been cured into a brine. And you can buy it. usually at the supermarket, all brine. So you have to be careful with your label, a cured tongue or one which is not cured. If you have to cure it, and I did it here, you can use regular salt, but I like to use that salt, which is just like regular salt, as you can see, but this is a curing salt. So there is 99% salt in it, and the rest is really potassium nitrate and sodium nitrate. So it does a beautiful red color to pate, hot dog, pastrami, salami, and so forth. In addition to that, I put a little bit of brown sugar, juniper berry, some hot pepper flake, and then some herbe de Provence, a mixture of this. So you have to close it in there, and there is enough juice coming out of it with the salt, and you need at least 2-3 days, depending on the size of it. And that's it. And then what we did after that, you boil it in water. And I boiled it in water here for like a couple of hours to get to this. And at that point, you want to peel out the skin and trim it. There is a great deal of, the skin underneath, so I want to remove that skin. So we use lamb tongue, we use veal tongue. This happened to be, you see the size of the beef tongue. And that beef tongue, very often the skin like this should come out. You have to clean it up. And that, as I said, this is basically cooked, it's been cooking like 2 hours. Very thick skin, which protects it. But otherwise, the meat is really moist and quite delicious. So here I have some of those little lardons. Those are little pieces of unsmoked bacon called pancetta in English. And we're going to put some onion with it, some carrot, nice branch of rosemary in there. And then our tongue is ready to go in, and eventually the lentil. Now you see, I have those, what they call the green lentil, lentilles du puits, and you can see that those are very small, much smaller than those, and they really keep their shape nicely. And I can cook that for a little while and put the lentil after, because the lentil don't take maybe as long as the rest to cook, but it's okay to put it together too. So I have this, the stock. That's it. Bring it to a strong boil, certainly cover it. And after nice and boiled, very low heat, and you would cook that for an hour and a half, test it depending how thick, wide your tongue is. This is it. Boy, it's nice and tender now. That's how I want it. That's it. It is earthy. Make me think of going skiing, Of course, and you would see beautifully pink, inside. That's it. And maybe with it, a little sprig of rosemary, because this is what we had to start with. And here we are, the braised tongue with lentil. We've done pate, sausage, sweetbread, tongue today, all of those great dishes of my youth. Spending time in the kitchen, cooking wonderful dishes is the best way to express love. Happy cooking. Happy cooking.